What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with another banger, my people. Y'all know the vibes. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So there was already speculation and people were already reporting for a couple of weeks, it feels like, Malaysia Fullwiley, South Carolina star guard, would be entering the transfer portal. Well, Lay made it official with a post today that she will be officially entering the transfer portal with her own words and leaving South Carolina and Dawn Staley for a new destination. Fullwiley said in her post on Instagram, "I want to begin by thanking my hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. Without my village, I wouldn't be where I am today, chasing my dreams. Thank you to Coach Staley, the entire coaching staff, the entire South Carolina staff, and my teammates for the unforgettable memories we've created together. Most importantly, thank you to the fams for embracing me and supporting me over the past 2 years. After thoughtful consideration, I've decided to enter the transfer portal. I'm excited for what's next and grateful for all the continued love and support." Lay with the butter is out and officially into the transfer portal. Now, maybe there was some rumblings. I imagine, Coach Dawn Staley, the staff did some work to try to keep her, and she just was not being convinced to stay in South Carolina. And it seems like to me, man, there could be some NIL that definitely could affect her transfer. But on top of that, playing for a competitor, but also being the focal point of a team and running the show for herself. Now, salute. She had a productive career in South Carolina, man. When you talk about Sixth Player of the Year, tournament MVP last year in the SEC, just being one of the most exciting players in women's college hoops, and I think she will succeed wherever she goes. But where will that next stop be? I have a host of schools that I think could be in consideration. So first up, I got Ole Miss, man, and Coach Yo is cut from the same cloth as Coach Dawn Staley, like tough players coach, demands excellence, really gives her players a chance to, I think, play through mistakes too, and she is, like I said, Dawn Staley is a mentor of hers, so could be some just comfort there. The Rebels were also among the 5 finalists to land Fulwiley when she was in high school, when her recruitment was winding down. She was ranked as the 13th best prospect in the 2023 class, a 5-star. Ole Miss has had some recent success under Coach Yo, man. They've gone to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. They've twice made it to the Sweet 16. Coach Yo also has assembled talented rosters throughout the last couple of years through the transfer portal, man. Now, they lose KK Deans, who was definitely one of their top scorers, especially like coming off the bench and in that backcourt. She was instant offense. So they're going to need a spark and someone to take over that point guard position or, play the 2. She can play either one. If Fulwiley decides she wants to remain in the SEC and to continue to play part of her postseason close to home in Greenville, well, she could stay in the SEC with the Rebels. I think, too, her impact with them, man, they need, like, a dynamic guard with Dean's gone. So, I definitely think, she would still, Malaysia Fullwiley isn't enough to get them to compete for championships, per se. But, they could definitely shock some people and probably get to the Elite 8. They also landed Cody McMahon as well out of Ohio State. So, her and Malaysia Fullwiley could definitely be a nice 1-2 punch, in my opinion, in that pick and roll. So, keep your eye out, man. Don't sleep on Coach Yo. Now, if she did want to jump conferences, Louisville was another team that was a finalist in her top 5 when she was committing back in high school. This is a very, very successful program ran by Jeff Walsh. They have a history of winning, going to 14 consecutive NCAA tournaments. They've also gone to 4 Final Fours since 2009, so it could be an enticing destination. Walsh also has a history of preparing players for the professional ranks, man. He's had some serious hoopers come through there. Dana Evans, Emily Inksler, A.D. Durr, Angel McCautry, like some serious guards. Milaysia Hines-Allen as well. They've all come through Louisville. Walsh has also produced a total of 12 WNBA players and 5 first-round draft picks. And we know Lay is trying to get to that next level. South Carolina has helped build that foundation. Could Louisville be the one to take her to the next level? Fulwiley would also be immediately, if she's looking for that opportunity to be the focal point of the offense, she would immediately be the top player on Louisville's roster, and she would play in front of a crowd that has led the ACC in attendance for several years. So you're coming from South Carolina that leads the nation in attendance. You're going to another school where women's basketball is highly appreciated. Now, if she did want to stay closer to home in the state of South Carolina, I think this is a little less likely, but she, could maybe make that jump to crosstown rival Clemson, man, the ACC. We know she grew up in Columbia, went to Keenan High School. It's about 10 miles away from Colonial Life Arena, so she's been around that area. I know it was tough for her to leave the school, but would she officially leave the state of South Carolina as well? Staying close to home was a big factor for her when she chose the Gamecocks, so she could still have that proximity at Clemson if she wants to stay within the state. Clemson hasn't been super successful, so she definitely would be in a situation where she would be the best player trying to lead them to new highs, man. Just on recent years, they've made the NCAA tournament once since 2003, but it seems like this past season, man, they built some momentum. Sean Poppy is definitely headed in the right direction in year 3 next season, so I think they could build it. And if he could get Malaysia Fullwiley, I think she's the type of player that could attract other transfers as well. The Tigers also, speaking of attendance, saw a spike in attendance this past year and beat Stanford in the ACC tournament. They've picked up a handful of talented transfers already, so I mean, you add in that, and that they could continue to add to that roster with a player like Fulwiley that players want to be, our teammates with her, man, because she's going to draw eyes wherever she's at. She could be that catalyst and the face of the next era for Clemson women's basketball and remain at the crib. Now, Maryland is interesting, man. They're an Under Armour school, and we know she's got that deal with the Curry brand. I also think they could be in the running for Aluchi Akinawa as well. And if both of them go to Maryland, man, and they got Smickle back as well, Sailor Poffenberger, like, Maryland really could be looking like a Final Four team. I'm not going to hold you. That would be a very exciting backcourt. I'm just saying, I would be tuned in defensively. Okinawa is one of the best, probably the best perimeter defender in the country, in my opinion, man. She's locked down. Malaysia Fullwiley's a pest on defense as well. And then offensively, man, they're both athletic, super fast, great finishers, can shoot the basketball, like instant offense. That would be a lot of fun. And then you bring back your leading scorer with Smickle. So I'm just saying, man, that would be a whole lot of buckets. And then, of course, we got to look at the Under Armour side of things if she decides to stick with the brand. The Terps would be a solid fit. I mean, literally, Under Armour was created from there. Like, it's crazy. She could, get her signature shoes as well in the... With Cheyenne Day Sellers leaving, like, Malaysia Fullwiley could definitely plug in as that scoring guard. And then you also bring in Bree McDaniel, who would be a complimentary piece to Malaysia Fullwiley as well, man. Coach Freeze, I think, is just tenacious coach, demands excellence, and she holds her players to a high standard, man. And South Carolina eliminated them from the tournament, but a lot of people felt like the refs really kind of weighed heavy on that game. They did give South Carolina all they could handle. They also already added Gracie Merkel as well as Jardin Garçon in the transfer portal. You throw in Fulwiley, and that's definitely a Final Four team, man, I gotta say. And then you also gotta think of the WNBA aspect, man. Coach Freeze has helped produce 20 WNBA players, 13 first-round picks. So if you're trying to get to the next level, if you're trying to be that next elite combo guard coming into the WNBA, man, hey, why not go to a proven coach who has shown that she can get players there by the boatload? Now, if we're sticking with that Under Armour theme, I gotta mention Notre Dame, man. You lose Olivia Miles, Sonia Citron is out, Kate Koval, it was kind of a mass exodus. So they need to add some more spark, some more firepower, man. Hannah Hidalgo and Malaysia Fullwiley would feed families. We already know Hannah Hidalgo, potentially, especially with Juju Watkins out, could be the player of the year. She was in the running this year. She was ACC player of the year, and she's back for another year. Coach Ivy, I think it's going to take more than Malaysia Fullwiley, like, if they want to get back to, like, the highs that Notre Dame is looking to win a championship, man. Like, they definitely have to hit the portal hard, but adding Fullwiley would give Notre Dame the best and most entertaining backcourt, in my opinion, in the country with Hannah Hidalgo. One that would be absolutely menacing for opponents in transition, bro. The speed, the athletic ability, the way they're carving up defenses, like, both their bags are deep. I mean, we're talking about two players. Like, bro, they could both be averaging 25 next year. Like, I don't know if they would win a championship. Like, they definitely got to bring in some more talent. But as far as excitement and giving you pure buckets, bro, Hannah Hidalgo is a straight dog. And then you bring in Malaysia Fullwiley. Because I think this gives Hannah Hidalgo the chance to run point guard full time without having to share that with Olivia Miles. And with Hannah Hidalgo's presence at the guard, man, like lead guard, Malaysia Fullwiley can just go in there and get buckets. It would be a smaller backcourt, but, bro, transition, they are running teams off the floor, off the dribble. Nobody's staying in front of either one of them. Like, they can give you a bucket at any time. That, I don't know if it's the most likely destination. I ain't going to say that. But Under Armour, having Hannah Hidalgo, a national championship winning program. Neil Ivy's one of the best coaches in the game. You're going to get all the shots you want, period. The NIL will be there as well. So if we're looking to stick to the Under Armour theme and, you know, we're looking at NIL opportunities and maximizing your brand, then, you know, Maryland, Notre Dame, they make sense. But we'll see, man. Wherever she decides to go, I'm wishing Lay nothing but success. She's one of the most exciting players in the country, dynamic, and just a treat to watch, man. She did her thing for South Carolina for 2 years, and now they will bid her adieu. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments, though. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. This is the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. And until next time, my people, follow us on social media, and we out.